Good morning, everyone. I am currently on Akbar Road, and as usual, I'm driving to work. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's about 25 degrees centigrades. Actually, it's pretty pleasant. I could keep my windows down, but that would lead to a lot of noise in the recording. So I've kept my AC on at one. So the map is telling me it'll take me about 1.5 hours to reach office, and that's pretty likely. Actually, Mondays are quite heavy on traffic, so let's see what's in store for us. This drive from my home through Sardar Patel right up to Tholakon, I think that's pretty beautiful, and that's why I always want to start the recordings here, because you'll get to see something interesting maybe on the road. Otherwise, after Tholakon is mostly just traffic. Can you see that motorbike on the left? uh, that looks like a twin cylinder Interceptor. I'm not sure, is it? Oh no, it's a ESD. It's not been kept in good condition, but yeah, it had those twin cylinders, one on each side, and I thought it was the Interceptor. So, in college, I used to have a Bajaj Avenger. It was a 150cc. Yeah, I think it was one. No, was it 175? Yeah, I think it was 175cc, and it was a bike which one of my seniors used to own. And after he graduating, he got a good job, and he wanted to sell his bike. And I was like, sir, please दे दो, आपकी तो अच्छी नौकरी लग गई है, अब क्या करोगे आप बाइक, आप तो गाड़ी खरीदोगे. And then he sold that Bajaj Avenger bike, which was I think about 1 or 2 years old. Uh, he sold that to me for about, I think, 40k. Yeah, I think he sold it to me 40k. And when I bought that bike, I didn't even know how to ride. I was like, नहीं बाइक तो खरीदूंगा मैं, वो बाकी बातें चलाना कैसे है वो मैं सीख लूँगा, but until and unless I don't have a bike, I will not be able to learn. So I bought that bike, and college में there was a big huge campus, and वहाँ पे लंबे लंबे जैसे रोड होते थे जहाँ पे there were trees on both sides and no speed breakers and no traffic. It was a so that's where I learned. तो पहले मैं कैंपस के अंदर चलाता था, फिर थोड़ा हिम्मत करके मैं कैंपस के बाहर ले गया, पहले 1 किलोमीटर, फिर 2 किलोमीटर, फिर 5. And then I think in 6 months' time, me and along with a couple of my other friends who also had bikes, we actually did a road trip right up to Agra. Uh, one day going and one day coming back, and it was quite intense. And but I made it, and there were a lot of incidents where on the way I almost crashed, but I held my own, and it was not because of my mistake. It was because of some other person's rash driving. Actually, I think it was Holi that day. On the way we were coming back, and there were rowdy people just driving crazy on the road. Bikes, 4 people sitting in a bike, and people crossing roads irrespective of what the red light is. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty dangerous. I learned a few tricks. Not tricks, I mean, those are like basics that everybody should know, which my friends taught me, and that held me in good stead. Whenever you're confused, go back to basics. Okay, so this roundabout, there's always a lot of traffic here. I'll exit from this roundabout, and that'll save me some traffic, because I can always join Sardar Patel Road further down. Yeah, Shanti Pat. I always like driving here. There are embassies on both sides, and there's a long stretch with flags on either side, and then there are these gardens which are actually pretty well maintained. And there used to be a time when people would play football here. Maybe they still do, I don't know. I mean, nobody asked people to run to go away from here, except for maybe the gardeners who grow flowers along the road. So the subject for today's conversation is a note that I made maybe 4-5 months back. And I was thinking, like, what exactly is politics, right? And why is why has politics become so venomous, and why does politics have such a wrong connotation when it is how we function as a society. That's how democracy functions, and the people whom we elect are our representatives, and they make the laws. So it's not a frivolous thing, right? And it is not also acceptable that you know that the government is run by a bunch of thugs. I mean, if that were true, and uh, if that were true, and if that was the only truth, and there was nothing, there was no other nuance or subtlety to it, then it would have been a problem, and it would not have survived. Uh, and that sort of made me think, that why is it that we persist with democracy, and why is it we persist uh, with the kind of politics that we see this when there is so much negativity around it. And that made me question, and that is where I came up with a thought which I'll expand as I go forward. And the thought says that politics is actually the search for the truth, right? Up, uh, you know, say there are 100 people living in a society. Now, everybody has a different point of view, and that's a good thing. And everybody is not the same. They've had different experiences as they grown up. They have different circumstances. Um, they have different access to resources. So people look at the world differently. And when people look at the world differently, you know, even though there is just one world, even though there's just one reality, perspectives are different. And because of that, there are many truths, right? आपका सच और मेरा सच अलग हो सकता है. And this is what I read in one of the books written by Devdutt Patnaik on my Gita, and I loved it. And it was like, मेरा सच और आपका सच अलग हो सकता है, and then that is fine. And so politics is uh, a representation of the truth that is meaningful to most people. Uh, so the red light is not working yet. Yeah. So politics is uh, a representation of the truth that is meaningful to the most number of people. Right. अब आपको लगता है कि ये क्या कर रहे हैं, ये कैसे हो गया, नो ये गुंडा है, ये इलेक्शन कैसे जीत गया, चार चार अलग अलग डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में इनकी पार्टी ऑपरेट करती है या इसके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स करते हैं, ये जीत कैसे गए. एंड आई थिंक इट्स नॉट एज स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड एज द फैक्ट दैट ये गुंडा है और इसने गुंडागर्दी करके जीत लिया. आई मीन, ही मस्ट बी फाइटिंग फॉर समबडी, एंड ही मस्ट बी फाइटिंग फॉर द ट्रूथ ऑफ समबडी. एंड कई बार सिस्टम ऐसा बन जाता है कि आप मजबूर हो जाते हो टू टेक अप अ रूट which is not always within the law. And once you go down that path, there is always a risk कि you cross the line, and then once you cross the line, then there is no going back, right? फिर एक हत्या की सज़ा भी एक फांसी है, 10 हत्या की सज़ा भी एक फांसी है. So I think once people have made that decision, that or have had that situation where आपने कुछ आपके हाथों से कुछ हो गई है गलती, then you're like might as well go all the way. And that is the same thing with things like insurgency, things like the Khalistan movement, or people asking for their own separate state, or people asking for reservation, or people asking for certain rights which are exclusive to them. These are all because of circumstances that are unique to them, and उनकी आवाज़ ऊपर तभी आएगी जब when there is enough momentum around it, and when there's enough voice around it. So yeah. I hope this made sense to you. And I'm almost reaching Dhanokwa. So I think I should stop the vlog here. And I'll see you again. Take care.